Welcome to Intoxication Station. I'm Raymond. I'm featured today with Haley, our social media manager. Haley, how we doing today?
How are you?
Doing pretty well. Today we're going to be discussing Jungle Bird Tiki Bar. This place was really cool. From an aesthetic standpoint, the drinks were really nice. Unfortunately, we didn't get any food while we were there,
No,
only
but it
because we had,
smelled so good.
yeah, we had left a place prior to that, which is going to be coming up on a future episode. We'll leave that as a surprise whenever it does come up. Maybe you guys can guess which one it is. So, with Jungle Bird Tiki Bar, they have a great mix of a little bit of everything when it comes to different ambiances. We sat outside, but they did have two separate locations when it came to interior dining and an interior bar as well. Just beautiful locations. We're going to have photos going through and different videos that we took while we were there. Haley, what was your take on the place?
It was beautiful. So I've been to a lot of different places. I don't know that I've ever seen a bar that looked like this. It lived up to its name, Jungle Bird. It looked like you were in a legitimate outdoor jungle. They had plants everywhere. The outdoor bar was really set up like a tiki. It had the grass hut all the way around, and the bar was pretty big. It was a rectangle. The bar was in the middle, and it was all the way around, and there was tons of seating, but there was like wisteria all the way around it. But when you went in to go to the restaurant or into the restrooms, on one side was the indoor bar, on the other was the restaurant, and then there was kind of a middle patio area. But to get there, you walked through this labyrinth basically of jungle, and it was so gorgeous. And you'll see the videos if you've been on our Instagram. You've probably seen some of the pictures I've posted, but you literally walk through a maze of jungle, and it's just gorgeous. They said they've had weddings there in the courtyard. They've had all kinds of events there, and it was just beautiful. They
It
also
really
had,
was.
yeah, they also had kind of a picnic area set up on the other side of the outdoor bar where they had some live music set up, and the band, or it was just one guy doing acoustic, but he was fantastic. So it was really, really nice. And it was a really warm night the night we were there, but they had fans going all the way around, and there was a really nice breeze. We weren't close to the water, but you could feel the breeze coming off the ocean. So we got there right about sunset, and it was a really, really nice place to watch the sun go down. Overall, I just really, really enjoyed sitting there for the time we were there. I think we were there for a couple of hours.
We were, because once again, this was all part of the Culture Coast trip that we
Hmm.
did. So we were on somewhat of a time crunch, but enough time spent at these locations to give an honest review of them.
Hmm.
One of the things I did appreciate with Jungle Bird was the building that was in itself.
It was older.
Um, it was an older building, but for more of like a historic standpoint. Like you could tell that it was of Spanish design from
Hmm.
the late 1800s. And you could really feel that whenever you went inside the establishment. Unfortunately, I didn't go into the restaurant side since we were predominantly outside for the most part of it, but I did go into the inside bar, and it was very period correct when it came to the overall sizing. Not the traditional, more modern, if you will, open floor mat where you can see all the way from the front to the back. Some of the stuff was a little bit on the compartmentalized side of things, but that worked out for the charm of the bar itself on the
Hmm.
inside.
Yeah, it was really cute.
Now, it really was well thought out design, well thought out establishment in total. Now, one of the drinks that I did have up there was one of their old fashions that they had, which was pretty nice, very nice old fashioned. I should have got it smoky. However, it looked like you got a couple of their cocktails when they were up there, and they had some pretty unique glasses that went along with it.
I
Now,
did.
what
Yeah, I had the Mississippi Hog. I had it twice because it was just so good. But they have a variety of tiki drinks. Obviously, that's what they're famous for. And they have their own tiki menu. But each drink you get comes in a different glass. And they have so many, such a variety of tiki glasses. And it's not just, you had the traditional Polynesian, the tall tiki ware. But each glass you get is different. And it doesn't matter what kind of tiki drink you get, every glass you get is different. So the first one I got was a pretty much traditional tiki Polynesian glass. It was tall, brown, had the face on it. The second one I got was very obviously a local potter that had made it, and it was an octopus. It was blue and orange, very bright. It looked more like a coffee mug than a bar glass. It was very tempting to stick in my purse and take with me, but I'm not going to do that. But I loved all the barware there, and I was watching the other people that had tiki drinks in the bar. There was one with skeletons on it, and it was just really really fun. It made the experience really unique because it was all the glassware was handmade.
Which is what I liked about Jungle Bird so much was that's something that we haven't really came across on the channel as of yet.
Mhm.
Now, one of the first locations that we did review was, God, over a year ago at this point, over at Crump's Landing over in Homosassa Springs. They had something similar to it with the thatch roof, outdoor seating, and whatnot. This one seemed a little bit more intimate overall, as far as the overall layout, how friendly the people were, that we came across. Unfortunately, I didn't get their names or anything, but the couple that we sat next to, they actually bought our first round when
Yeah,
we
that was
first
really
got
nice.
there. Super, yeah, super sweet people. Transplants from up north, which, yeah, being in Florida, we do see a lot of transplants from up north, Indiana.
You roll your
And
eyes, but I'm a transplant from the Midwest, so careful what you say.
But I mean, with that said, not all of them are going to come down here and ruin the state by sitting in traffic constantly and whatnot. There are a lot of great people out there, especially when we go to these more quote unquote home style, hole in the wall establishments, mom and pop operated. Because I mean, just like what we're trying to do with the channel, they're supporting local business as much as we are.
It was their first time there too, so it was really nice. Like, you know, you mentioned Crumps. Crumps is definitely fun, and it's a party atmosphere, but this was not a party atmosphere. This was definitely you go, it's a great place to take a date, a small group, maybe a birthday party, something like that. And you go and you sit around the bar, and everybody was talking to each other. We had another interaction with a couple after that couple left where it was an older couple later. The wife saw the band or the guitarist had a dog, a little I can't remember what kind of dog it was, but it was little, and she just went nuts. She's like, "Oh my gosh, she has a dog. I have to go see the dog." And so we got talking to them a little later, and so it was just one of those experiences or one of those places where you could sit there for hours and talk to 10 different people in a night because everybody's just there to um, be there for the experience and just have a good time. We talked to the staff for a really long time. Noah was our bartender's name, and all the staff was very not just accommodating but friendly, and they were there to interact with the guests. Noah said he had been there for maybe 5 or 6 years. He had been there for a really long time, and he just loves um, the experience of working there and all the people that showed up when he was there.
Oh yeah. Which I mean, as mentioned before, the atmosphere is a great place to be in. And even though it was a bit of a warmer night, some of the places that you go to in Florida, you can't always have the best of weather at all time. I mean, fortunately, as of recording, it is gorgeous outside right
Mhm.
now. But especially when you come down here during the summer months, early to mid to late to early fall, wintertime. I mean, we only have one season down here and it's hot all time. So to be able to have a nice open air environment that has a good breeze coming through to be able to help things out, if anything, to keep the no-see-ums off you, is a really nice luxury. One thing I would like to bring up, they did have merch at the location as well, too. I don't know if you've seen it,
I
but
never did
if
see any
you
merch.
all right. So when you go in through the labyrinth into the courtyard where they have just this cathedral of just all kinds of plant life and whatnot, and you go to the right into the indoor bar, once you're looking at the bar to the immediate right from there was a small merch area. Because, I mean, being a restaurant and a tiki bar, they're going to get most of their sales off of food, beverages, things of that nature. But they did have a small area for t shirts and little trinkets and whatnot to show that you had been there. And unfortunately, I didn't pick any up because I'm a guy and I don't normally pick up trinkets as I go to different places. But I mean, overall, beautiful atmosphere, great location. I would love to make it another trip down there at some point or another, in addition to possibly a second time around on the Culture Coast trip or whatever the case may be. Because one thing about Florida, especially in recent years, there are so many places to go to in these areas
Mhm.
and with the list that we have for all these different places, we have to be selective just based purely off of time restraint and financial restraint as well, too. shameless plug, we do have our Shopify store. So if you are interested in purchasing any t-shirts, hats, or what we have to offer, check out the Shopify link down below. Shipping is quick turnaround. Haley, you're wearing one of the shirts right now, one of our standard everyday prints that we have on the Shopify account.
I love this shirt. It's super comfortable.
Yeah. Yeah. Great quality. Also, if you see us in person, we do carry merch with us that is exclusive to our on location recording. So if you see us, flag us down, buy a t-shirt from us. Prices are going to be identical between the Shopify store and in person. We try to make it as affordable as possible to you guys because we understand times are rough and we would like to make sure that you guys get a piece of the action as much as we do. And for every piece of merchandise that you do purchase does help out with the channel with overall production, new locations, travel times, what have you. So before we end, we are going to make it a 2-for-1 episode in a sense that we also went to a place that was really close by called Nice Guy Pizza. Now, Nice Guy Pizza was a great place to go to, but being that we were full from the first place that we went to of the evening, which once again, stay tuned for that episode, and the drinks that we had over at Jungle Bird Tiki Bar, Nice Guy's Pizza was right around the corner, quite literally within walking distance, had
Which
I
I
known that
told you.
beforehand.
And then we moved the car because I was like, oh, we can just walk there. And he's like, no, I don't think it's close. I was like, who looked at the map and who didn't look at the map and planned this out? So we went around
I
the
didn't
block
look at the map.
and we went around the block and there was no parking. And guess where we ended up parking? One spot over from where we were parked at Jungle Bird. By the way, I don't think we mentioned where these places actually were. These were in Fort Myers.
All right. Yeah. So down in Fort Myers,
Yeah.
we will have all the addresses located in the description below. If you did want to visit the area, or if you are in the area and haven't heard of them, we do provide information in the description below. That way you guys can go through and check them out and give your own opinion on them. Yeah. So going back to Nice Guys, the thing that makes that Nice Guys Pizza so popular is the fact that they are open later than any of the other establishments in the area.
It's the only place in the area that everything else in that area really shuts down at 10. Nice Guys was open until 2. And so we even heard from Noah and the other bartenders at Jungle Birds. Like, this is the place where all of the locals go, all of the staff at the restaurants, everybody else. When the restaurants shut down, all of their staff goes over to Nice Guys at the end of the night. So it's crowded, but the drinks were amazing. We didn't have any pizza. We had some pretzel bites, which were good, but the pizza looked good. We just weren't hungry at that point.
Now, one thing I do want to give a piece of advice on, if you drink a drink, don't breathe at the same time. I made that. So
go to our TikTok for that video, because that's funny.
Yeah, the aftermath, luckily there was aftermath. Otherwise, probably would have ended up in the hospital on that one. But the drink that I got had cinnamon in it. Now, not saying that there's anything wrong with cinnamon, but
he inadvertently did the cinnamon challenge with his drink.
Yeah, right. We'll also have photos rolling through here, but ultimately we were under low light conditions. When it comes to Nice Guys Pizza, you have an indoor area, 2 separate indoor areas, more details on that in a second. And then you have an outdoor area by the street, and all the lighting that they have there was all red. So it made reading some of the descriptions on the menu a little difficult for me. And I didn't notice that in the beverage I had gotten, which I believe was a Godzilla something or another, had cinnamon in it. And whenever I went to take my first sip, to get a nice, good flavor, a little bit of air on it, I about died. And that was not fun. Tasty drink overall. Great presentation. Like I said, we have photos rolling through right now. Had I read that, I probably would have went with something else, but I don't regret my decision that I made. Now,
Ray made a choice the whole weekend, is that he would always order the funniest name drink on the menu. And so I think that was your decision by getting, I think it was called Go Go Godzilla. And he immediately went for that one. I don't know that you even looked at the ingredients. It was just, I'm getting the Go Go Godzilla. The drink I ordered, which you'll have to put the picture up in the podcast, but I'll probably also put it on socials. But I ordered something called the Bong Water, which I ordered mostly, not just because the name was funny, but I ordered because the ingredients were really good. It was like a smoked mezcal drink, which I love mezcal, and it was a smoky one. So that sounded delicious. It also had tobacco bitters, which I had never had. It had some cayenne in it and a couple other things. And I just thought it sounded good. I expected it to come in a rocks glass. Ray's drink came in a rocks glass, so I had expected it to come in that. I ordered my drink a little bit later because I was still pretty buzzed from Jungle Bird, so I was just gonna drink water at first. And then his drink come and it was so good that I decided to order one too. And when it came, it was in a full-on water pipe, a flower vase, if you will. It had sunflowers all over it. But it was actually they had actually smoked the drink and put a plate over the top of the flower vase. And so when you removed the plate, then all the smoke came out, and then the straw was in the side of the flower vase. And
The stem, if you will.
the stem. It was a very, very creative way to serve a cocktail. I had never seen
Oh,
a
yeah.
cocktail served like that, and I lost my mind. I cracked up so hard because I mean, it was in the name of the drink, but it never occurred to me that that's how they would serve a
It
cocktail.
was going to be presented.
It was hilarious. And the drink was fantastic. It was delicious.
Which that's one thing that I can say the mixologist, because it wasn't your beer sling and dive bar that we typically go and check out
No,
either during recording or after recording. You had actual mixologists that took crafting time to be able to create these drinks, and they were very well thought out.
yeah, I mean, there's a reason beyond the fact that it stays open till 2. There's a reason why so many of the local industry people go to this bar. The food looked amazing, but the craftness of the cocktails were very, very well done. Nothing was run of the mill. I mean, you could get a pepperoni pizza there, but the whole menu looked very, very well thought out. There was also a whole back of the menu that was all vegan. So it was very, very much a foodie paradise. We just have
Yeah.
had too much food and drink to try to eat.
So, as mentioned before, they have two separate sections on the inside. So, one side was actual dining area, which is going to be your atypical pizza layout. Think for the audience that is old enough to remember, think Pizza Hut in the 90s, where you had the wood booths separating everybody. Very nostalgic from that point. But on the other side of the establishment, they had what looked to be like a nightclub or
Yeah, there was a
doing some type
DJ
of
in there.
event.
It was bumping. Um,
Oh, yeah.
I would not call it Pizza Hut in the 90s though. This was more like skating rink, digital neon. Like there were paintings all over the wall of aliens and stuff. There was all kinds of kitschy stuff stuck to the wall. I mean, there was an alien and an astronaut statue in there. But yeah, I mean,
It definitely had flair whenever
had
you
a lot of
walked in there.
flair.
And so we came in through the back door of the establishment, couldn't find parking up front to save our lives. Once we did find parking, we came in through the back, and you're greeted with a bunch of neon light, black, white, neon painting on the wall. I mean, cool establishment, and that's something that you're into. Personally, I liked how it was designed because even though it had chaos to it, it was a very well thought out chaos, if that makes any sense. But yeah, also an establishment. I do want to go back there just because I've heard nothing but great things about the food. And this is research leading up to the CCT that we did, where I've talked to many people there from the Fort Myers area, and they all recommended it. Out of 12 people that I've spoken to in the area, they all recommended it. I like to think on the ethos that when you live somewhere, you have places that you recommend to people that are visiting. They're typically nice establishments and whatnot. Then you have places that you go to.
The
Your
locals, yeah.
your little honey hole, if you will. And that was definitely a place that was a honey hole for the locals in the area. I
And
mean,
it was
between the
packed.
operating hours, so packed
I
in
mean,
there.
we sat outside because there was no room inside. I think there was like an hour wait for tables on the inside, and
hmm
the bar area was probably 3 or 4 people deep the entire time that
Oh,
we
yeah.
were at the establishment. So you have to be prepared for people. And it's not that the outside was bad. It was just very, very warm that night
So in opposite contrast to what Jungle Bird was, even though it's right down the street, it was a very airy, open environment
at Jungle Bird.
with a thatch roof.
Yeah.
Yeah, at Jungle Bird. Whereas over at Nice Guys, they had a metal roof covering the patio area, which is great, keeps the sun off of you and whatnot. But
There was just no breeze.
that, well, yeah, well, where we were sitting too as well, because you had up against the building seating and arranged all the way out to the road with different seats and
Mhm.
whatnot, but those were taken up. And it just so happened that we wound up in a spot that was kind of blocked from all the wind. Even though we had a fan going not too far away from us, it didn't do as well as it could have, but I can't fault the establishment for that. by the time we got there was when they really started packing in the people.
Mhm.
So it's just one of those things that if you get there a little bit earlier, then you're probably going to have a more pleasant experience depending on the weather, how that goes. I mean, there's a lot of variables when you talk about outside seating.
Would definitely go back, um, but I would go with an appetite, and I probably would not have drank as much at other places before I went because I would wanna enjoy more cocktails than I was able to there. So I wanted to try more on the menu.
Yeah, because I mean, the menu did look fantastic. And once again, we do have some photos from that. Once again, red lighting underneath or provided on the photos, which we did our best. We did our best as far as being able to get the content, which a lot of the photos did come out great. It went with the aesthetic of the place overall. And definitely one of those places that I can highly recommend to go to. So if you do find yourself in the Fort Myers area and you want to check out either location or even check out both locations, definitely plan it out a little bit better than what we did between being a travel day, checking out a location prior to that, and driving nearly a half hour over to Jungle Bird from the previous location. I like to think that we did pretty well for ourselves as far as overall timing goes,
It was a
but
good night. We had fun.
it was. No, it was definitely a fun night. It was an overall busy day leading up to this review, and we got so much more coming to you guys. We have a total of 10 episodes that will be coming out. This is just one of 10 that's going to be coming out for the CCT, and we have plenty more to come from here. With that, Haley, thank you so much for making time out for your day
Uh,
to be able to go over these places. And as always, I'm Raymond with Intoxication Station, and we'll see you on the next one.